My message is that we'll be watching you. This is all wrong.
You're right there. It is totally wrong.
I shouldn't be up here.
You shouldn't.
I should be back in school.
You should. The stats are out. You are uneducated, you children. You need to go back to school, even though it's an indoctrinated system that they're in. It doesn't really matter, but you know what we're saying.
The other side of the ocean.
Yeah, you should.
Yet you all come to us young people for hope.
Nobody did. Somebody put you there for some fucking reason. Nobody knows why. Excuse my language, little kid.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you?
You have stolen my dreams, really? My childhood, with your empty words. Yet I'm one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones. Your handlers are the lucky ones.
People are suffering. Yep. People are dying.
Yeah, and what are you
Entire
doing
ecosystems are collapsing.
Yep.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Yeah. So you're targeting the middle income earners and stuff. Why are you targeting them? That's who you're targeting at the end of the day. You're not targeting those high-end people that's all they think about. Instead, you're putting the guilt on everybody else. See how you've been misled? Everybody's being misled. Poor kid, just pawn in this game that you're all latched onto. I don't know why, but anyway, we'll go on.
For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear.
No, it hasn't. Where are you getting your information from, kid? That's not true. And I guarantee you 30 years from now, you'll be still here, and what becomes of you, who knows, but... You know.
How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough when the
We heard this routine back when we were kids too, yeah? Yeah, we had the ozone layer, we had acid rain, we had everything. We had, you name it. So don't worry, we haven't heard, it's not new. The worst thing is there's a generation of parents out there that have just jumped onto this with their kids and have not put their brain into it at all and used their own... They talk about history. These people wouldn't know what happened yesterday, let alone what happened 30 years ago.
And solutions needed are still nowhere in sight.
There is a solution.
You say you...
Stop consuming stuff. You look at the energy wasted in this room here today. This building, you've got all this powered up. What for? You know, you don't make any sense, little kid. The adults that are latching onto you, they're not very bright. No offence.
Hear us and that you understand the urgency. But no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil, and that I refuse to believe.
You're taking way too much on, child, and your parents, if they're allowing this to happen, it's not very nice of them either. They're stealing you of your childhood and giving you mental problems. This is a cult. This is a cult. There's no other way about it. If I had to, if she was talking about Jesus here today, you'd be all laughing at her.
The popular idea of cutting our emissions in half in 10 years only gives us a 50% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees and the risk of setting off irreversible chain reactions beyond human control.
Who told you this? Who told you that? That's not even true. There's figures out there to prove otherwise. See? This is the problem when the UN gets involved, and, you know, the UN drives your local council, you know, through ICLEI and things like that. If you look up ICLEI, ICLEI, it should be LEI or IE, yeah, one or the other. But this is what's going on. They're going from the grassroots, and they're using your children to manipulate you, the ratepayer, because these kids don't vote. So they're not no say in what happens to these politicians or anything. So that's delusional.
50% may be acceptable to you, but those numbers do not include tipping points, most feedback loops, additional warming hit.
Oh, here we go, feedback loops now. Like, come on, you're just making it up as you go along. This stuff they're feeding this poor innocent child, it's just retarded. Like, we're dealing with these things, but you can't deal with it if you just offset shit, you know? If they're still making all your crap that, say, the microphone you're using, the clothes you're wearing, all the shit's being made in another country, not your country. So does that look like you're clean? And Germany is broke as hell. So they're all those European countries, they're all being milked through this, and we're getting milked too. And meanwhile, we're going to send $150 million to NASA. Like, it's chump change. It don't make sense, kid. Go back to school.
Hidden by toxic air pollution or the aspects of equity and climate justice. They also rely on my generation sucking hundreds of billions of tons of your CO2 out of the air with technologies that barely exist. So a 50% risk is simply not acceptable to us, we who have to live with the consequences.
Put your hand up in the air. Remind me of someone.
To have a 67% chance of staying below a 1.5 degrees of global temperature rise, the best odds given by the IPCC, the world had 420 gigatons of CO2 left to emit back on January 1st, 2018. Today that figure is already down to less than 350 gigatons. How dare you pretend that this can be solved with just business as usual and some technical solutions?
What do you want them to do?
With today's emissions levels, that remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years.
You plant another tree, it'll be fine.
There will not be any solutions or plans presented in line with these figures here today, because these numbers are too uncomfortable, and you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is.
Look at these people.
You are failing us. But the young people are starting to understand your betrayal.
I don't understand your betrayal.
The eyes of all future generations. And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you.
So when you're still standing here in 20 years, we'll never forgive you. Remember that. Yeah?
We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now, is where we draw the line. The world is waking up. And change is coming whether you like it or not. Thank you.
I do not take idle threats from children. I'm sorry, I don't even do deals with them. You don't do business with children. They're children. Allow them to be children. And enjoy your day. Thank you, you little kid.